province of Biafran, and we are here live and direct. Today is the 15th day of November 2025. Therefore, I welcome each and every one of you to welcome your friends and well-wishers to this sacred platform where we preach the gospel of both mental and physical emancipation. Therefore, the time has come for you to tune in and inform those around you, for them to also tune in, because we have multiple platforms. In Biafra land, we have FM in different parts of Biafra land. CHK 102.1, CHK 102.1 in different parts of Biafra land, which you can be listening through FM. Also, you can download IPOB Community Radio. IPOB Community Radio is a very low data consuming application with which you can use in order to listen to Radio Biafra. Is a very low data consuming application. You can download it on your Google application, Play Store, on your Play Store, and you'll be listening. Also, we are on Radio Garden. You can also download Radio Garden and Simple Radio. Once you download these two different applications, Radio Garden, Simple Radio, now you search for Radio Biafra London and you will get us there. Therefore, you have no excuse not to listen to this gospel. This is the real gospel. Please. We are also on our mother page. You can log in www.ipob.org, www.ipob.org. Once you are in there, you are logged in. Now you click on live broadcasts and also you'll be listening. We are also on different forms, in different platforms on the social media, BTV, IPOB Rapture Media, the Biafra Digest, different platforms, on YouTube, on X. Please disseminate the gospel, because this is what we need. This is the most important thing prior to our physical emancipation. Without mental liberation, there will be no genuine physical emancipation. That is it. Therefore, today being Saturday, is a day that is mapped out for us to discuss on religious issues, but it is kind of waived for the meantime, so that we continue on the burning issues at hand. That is why we must continue, and I am here with my comrade on the studio, so that please I'll bring him in order for him to make an introductory statements before we continue, because we are going to continue on the series of the Sokoto Caliphate manipulations, please. The Sokoto Caliphate manipulations of the indigenous people. Mazi, please. Over to you. Come in and make your introductory statements, please. There. Mazi, are you there? Go on, please, go on.
Allah gaida yan uwanmu Hausawa da kuma duk yan asali ta Najeriya duk inda kuke, ko Bahaushe ne ko Barbare ne ko kai dan Angas ne ko kai dan Gumai ko Monto ko kowane kabila ne wanda kai dan asali ne ko kuma ke yar asali ce ta kasar Najeriya na da ku. Na ma sallama assalamu alaikum da kuma ku musulmai masu yin zaman lafiya wanda ba ku yarda da cewa a yi sulhu da yan ta'adda ba, duk ina gaida ku alaikum da ku Hausawa, assalamu alaikum kuma musulmai masu son gaskiya, masu faɗan gaskiya. Da mun san cewa akwai wasu limamu masu faɗan gaskiya, shi yasa ko annan Radio Biafra ba mu magana akan musulunci kamar addini, amma muna magana akan mutanen da ke amfani da musulunci don cin zarafin mutane, kabila masu amfani da musulunci da addinai daban-daban don cin zarafin mutane, don cin amana da su muke yi. Kuma shi yasa ba za mu bari ba har sai kowa ya samu yancin kansa, domin ba za mu zauna a yi shiru ana cin zarafin mutane ba, ana wulakanta da mutane, ana mai da mutane su zama ba'i a kasansu. Aina mu dai muka ce ba za mu yi shiru ba, duk wanda yancinsa aka takura mai yancinsa, IPOB aikinmu ne, zarafinmu ne, damanmu ne, ya kamata mu yi magana a kansa don kowa ya samu zarafinsa, don kowa ya samu yancin kansa. Shi muke yi kuma shi ba za mu bari ba. So thank you very much for those listening to us, even though I know it's not everybody in the northern Nigeria or the indigenous people or the middle belt, it's not all of them that communicate in Hausa, so we are going to mix it. My name is Mazi and we are greeting all of you who are listening to us. We are here to liberate everyone. We are here to speak for those whose liberty are being trampled upon, whose life are being taken, and all the indigenous people, whatever tribe they are, whether they are Hausa, whether they are Batawa, whether they are Gmai, whether they are Tarok, whether they are Ngas, which is the tribe of Yakubu Gowon, whichever tribe you are, as long as you are an indigenous person in the current geographical location we all refer to as Nigeria, the duty of IPOB is to speak for you when your rights are being trampled on, when you are being enslaved in your own land, and when you are being shut up. So as we greet the Hausa-speaking people who are not necessarily Muslim, we greet them Ahokum and we greet them in Hausa. We also greet the Muslims, our Hausa people who are Muslims, and we say Assalamu alaikum to all of them. The reason we are saying this is because our discussion, our conversation have never been really entirely about Islam as a religion. It has always been about those who have used Islam as an umbrella, a false umbrella under which they want to subjugate other people in the name of that religion. And these people are the Fulani people, we all know them, and the Fulani Caliphate is represented by the Sultan of Sokoto, the Sultan of Sokoto, and that is what we are doing. We have no problem with Islam as a religion. We have a problem with those who are using religion as a means to enslave other people and trample upon their rights. So as we go on, I'm sure we are all going to be able to have one or two inputs. And please be attentive when the numbers are going to be announced so that you can call. It is your right to call and make your opinion known, and we shall listen to you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Mazi. And we must continue. Just as you said, IPOB, we are here to make sure that we, including every indigenous populations, be liberated. Because normally,
Mazi Jonathan, are you?
yes. Oh, sorry, you are not hearing me. Can you hear me now? Yes, I've been speaking. Can you hear me now?
Okay, all right.
Okay. So, as you said, IPOB, we are here in order to make sure that all the indigenous populations are liberated, because we believe that all men are born equal. Every human being is born equal, and we have the right to life. Every human being has the right to life. But the Sokoto Caliphate is denying this right to the indigenous people, mostly in the northern part of Nigeria, because of religion. They are hiding under religion. They can hide under North. They can hide under one Nigeria in order to commit their crimes. The bottom line is that they are doing what they are doing is colonization that was started by Ottoman Danfodio in 1804, the colonization of Hausa land, of the indigenous people in the north. That is what is going on. Now, there is a clip I played, but I want you to also listen to it, to this clip by a Hausa lady. Please. I am happy that some of them are now trying to understand what the Fulani Caliphate has done to them and is still doing to them. Mazi, please, let us listen to this. Before even later I will read some news headline, but please let us listen to this. Remember, we are talking about the Sokoto Caliphate manipulations of the indigenous people in the north. That is the Fulani Caliphate, because Sokoto Caliphate is the Fulani Caliphate. It was renamed as Sokoto Caliphate by the Fulani, by Ottoman Danfodio, that formed the Caliphate after using religion to manipulate Hausas in order to kill Hausas, to kill themselves, so that he will become the winner. Please listen.
Hiding under Islam, they are confusing our people, especially the Hausas.
This is a Hausa lady, please, speaking. He said the Fulani is hiding under religion in order to manipulate the Hausas. And that is true. That is what Ottoman Danfodio started. Before the coming of Ottoman Danfodio, remember, many Hausas, they were Muslims, but they live side by side with their brothers that are non-Muslims as of that time. So, it is still the Fulani, Ottoman Danfodio, that came. He started preaching hatred. When he was allowed to preach in the king's palace, because that is where people gather, Hausa men and women gather to listen to him, and he brainwashed them. King Yofa was not attentive. He brainwashed them into turning against themselves. Just continue listening, please.
Confusing our people, especially the houses. They are confusing our people. All the imams in Nigeria, especially the northern part of Nigeria, all of them are Fulanis. They are confusing our people.
Why do you think that they selected, as she said, most of the imams in the northern part of Nigeria to be Fulani? Because these are the people, as an imam, you are controlling the mindset of people. Exactly the same thing when it comes to the south. The Yorubas are the major pastors, controlling the mindset of our people, and it is very dangerous for Biafrans. I want to be comparing these two, please. It's very, very dangerous. Because these are the people you are so-called the spiritual fathers. They are in charge of the adherents' mentality or mental state, psyche. Because for you, God has called them. For you, they have authority from God. So their words becomes a command from Allah. That is why the Fulani, why they majored in propagating or putting Fulanis as the major imams in the northern Nigeria. Are you getting it now? These are the caliphate manipulations. I am telling you. Continue listening.
Because they don't want us to think for ourselves. They always want us, anything they tell us, whether good or bad, we should just follow them.
Because they don't want the Hausas and other indigenous Muslims to think for themselves. Do you see that? This girl, if you see the video, is a very small, very young girl. Anyway, but she is making a lot of sense. It's an Hausa girl. You say, why they put, it's a Muslim, for your information. The caliphate put them so that they will not allow you to have the mindset of your own. It's happening to our people. The Jews are Yorubas. Are you getting it? Imagine our people that are inside the churches of, is it Adebayo, what are the Adebayo? That said there is, those people that said there is nothing like Christian genocide. Do you think that the members, being it from Mehamufu, being him from Plateau State, I mean the church members, what do you think that they will do? They will do nothing. They will accept it. Because it intimidates them that God have said it is God. They are seeing the man as God. The same way the caliphate is using the imams, controlling the minds, the mindset of Hausa Muslims and other indigenous population. Because these are the people they preach in the mosque for them. Look at people like Sheikh Gumi, that animal. Look at them. Look at them. These are the people that they put on top of the indigenous people, controlling their minds, their mindset. Please, continue listening.
Houses. They are confusing our people. All the imams in Nigeria, especially the northern part of Nigeria, all of them are Fulanis. They are confusing our people because they don't want us to think for ourselves. They always want us, anything they tell us, whether good or bad, we should just follow them. This thing, it has to come to an end. So Hausa people, please and please, my people, you people you have to differentiate between religion and culture and language. You have to differentiate that.
He said he is calling on the Hausa people, her people, in order to differentiate between religion. For the people, I mean for Hausa people to start thinking for themselves. Please. I want to regulate something. Please, just 1 second. Let me regulate something and come back, because just 1 second.
Under Islam, they are confusing our people, especially the Hausas. They are confusing our people. All the imams in Nigeria, especially the northern part of Nigeria, all of them are Fulanis. They are confusing our people because they don't want us to think for ourselves. They always want us, anything they tell us, whether good or bad, we should just follow them. This thing, it has to come to an end. So Hausa people, please and please, my people, you people you have to differentiate between religion and culture and language. We have to differentiate that. Because we mix everything together. We mix Islam, we mix everything, we mix religion, not matter of Islam, because they even put hate on us. Anybody that is not Muslim, we should not like him, especially the people that are Christian or any religion that are Hausas. They call us Maguzawa, non-religionists, and it's a lie. Just is a propaganda because they want to rule us every day. We are like a slave to them. It's not that enough. Now they are killing our people each and every day. They are killing our people each and every day. And their people are not talking. Minister, everything has to do with politics. They are the one. Katsina is Hausa land. The people that are doing governor, like the one I know since I grew up, all of them are Fulanis. The 4 governors are Fulanis.
Okay, please. Welcome back. I want to go back to playing because I noticed that what's talking is not coming out. It's not what is being played on BTV. That is why I have to stop to regulate something. So, as I was saying, remember that we are talking about the Fulani manipulations, please. And do not forget that today is the 15th day of November 2025. We are on this series of the Fulani, the Sokoto Caliphate manipulations, and I'm playing the clip, the voice of a Hausa girl that is talking to her people. Please, let us continue listening, please.
Differentiate between religion and culture and language.
This thing that this girl is talking about, he is calling his people to differentiate between religion and culture and language. The Sokoto Caliphate, this is what the Sokoto Caliphate do not want them to distinguish. They join everything together. in order to use it as weapon. And the people are not observant. I mean the housewives. You know, when I say the housewives, the indigenous people in the north that are Muslims also, they are not observant. That is why the caliphate is using them, using all these as tools, religion. So the caliphate spreads hatred. The same way, don't you see how the caliphate also spread that type of hatred against Igbo people for no reason? They spread general hatred. They rally the indigenous populations in Nigeria to hate Igbos, so that, you know, they isolate the people that are able to understand their machinations and rise up against them. Now they rally other people, other indigenous people, they rally them through different guise in order to hate and continue hitting the Igbos. That is what these people are doing. That is why, you know, this issue of Christian genocide, it is by the caliphate. Yes. If you are not so observant or so careful, you will treat Islamization, mix it up with Fulanization. Are you getting on? You know, I try to spend the time explaining this because many people do not still understand. There is a very huge difference between Fulanization, that is colonization by the Fulani Caliphate. Now they hide under the guise of Islamization. That, oh, they are trying, you know, when they talk about Islamization, jihadism, when the Fulani talk about it, they carry along other non-Fulani Muslims, the indigenous population. They say, yes, it's our religion. You see, it's a very fine line. That is what the caliphate is exploiting, because people are not able to differentiate, to distinguish. It is now dawning on some Hausa and some indigenous populations in the north to understand the ploy of the Fulani Caliphate, the Sokoto Caliphate. And that is also courtesy of Radio Biafra. And we continue educating people to make them to understand that, look, there is a difference between Islamization, which everybody, you know, non-Muslims in Nigeria, indigenous population are shouting, and the Fulanization. What they are doing, they first of all Islamize the non-Muslims, using the Muslim non-Fulani as their backup. Now they use them. After using them, Islamizing, decapitating the Christians in their communities, now they turn against the Fulani Caliphate, now turn against the Muslim indigenous population. That is what they are doing. And that is why, you know, like somebody like Gumi, now they use it as a point, just in order to you know, counter Donald Trump. They said no, it is not only Muslims that are, it is not only Christians that are being killed, Muslims also, because it is to their advantage. All is to the advantage of the caliphate. Are you getting me? Now, if somebody is saying, okay, Muslims are being killed by the same terrorists, now, and the terrorists, Donald Trump say, I want to hit the terrorists. I think he's killing Muslims also. America will come against them. Now, but these people are defending the terrorists. Don't you see that there is something awkward? There is something awkward by this Fulani. They now use Islamic sentiment to activate even other Muslims which are also suffering the same genocide from the Fulani. In order to say, look at what Gumi, he said no, that it is now Islam's to rise up and forget about their differences, make peace, because Donald Trump is coming as a Christian to defend Christianity. Do you see? So these people, they are they cover everywhere so that any side becomes their advantage. Anyhow you turn, it becomes the advantage. Do you see that? They are the people, the caliphate. Sheikh Gumi with his army, with his fighters, of which there was a place he said he mistakenly called the terrorists his fighters. I think it's in Hausa language. Our fighters, after he tried to correct it, but they have cut up. So you know, if these are the problems, now why are you now steering religious when you look at them, when you listen to Sheikh Gumi, in one way he tell you that these people, they are not about religion, these terrorists, because they smoke, they sniff drug, they do this, they are not about. Now Trump say, I want to hit them. He didn't say I want to attack Muslims. No, he said I want to hit these terrorists that are troubling everybody. Now you see people coming to defend them. Don't you see that there's something awkward there? There's something they are hiding. Because these terrorists are the Fulani soldiers. If you are not so careful, you will not distinguish. And these are the tricks they have been using against the Hausas. They say, we are almost, look at now, in order to counter Trump, they are now, people like that animal Gumi is now calling on Muslims, whether Izala, because he is the commander. He is the commander of Izala. This terrorist is their commander. He is now calling everybody, those that they are killing, the Muslims that they are killing, to don't forget about that we are killing you, let us rise up and defend Islam. Do you see how they think they are smart? That is what people should understand. That is why it pains my heart when many people in Yoruba land will be defending, because of maybe another 4-year term of Tinubu, the Yoruba man, just to be in power. They are defending A4. Let me finish playing this so that I'll bring Mazi up. Please, let me finish playing this.
We have to differentiate that. Because we mix everything together. We mix Islam, we mix everything, we mix religion, not matter of Islam, because they even put hate on us. Anybody that is not Muslim, we should not like him, especially the people that are Christian or any religion.
That is what the Fulani, they are preaching. Those imams, they are telling them in the mosques. Those that the Muslim, the non-Fulani Muslim, the indigenous population, they insert a hatred against even their own brothers that are non-Muslims. They use their own brothers that are Muslim, putting hatred on them. These are the machination, these are the manipulations of the Sokoto Caliphate, and that is how they have been spreading. But IPOB is here to stop them, honestly. You see, the Sokoto Caliphate, it must be dismantled. So they combine all this together. Now when they preach hatred. They say, it doesn't matter, even if it's your brother, but he's not a Muslim, he's not a Muslim, he's an infidel. You can even kill him. So when they groom people right from childhood with this type of hatred, even when you see the non-Fulani Muslims that are also complicit in all this, it is this manipulation. But after all, once they eliminate all those non-Muslims, now they turn against, now they make it tribal, they turn against the non-Fulani Muslims that helped them. If you study history, you see that is the way they killed Afonja. Afonja invited the Fulani to come and help him to, depose, to kill his brother, the king, that time in 19th century. so that he will take over power. They told him, they sent message to him that we cannot help infidel unless you people, you and your people that want to help turn to Islam. He said no problem, they will turn. Now the Fulani came, they help him fight against his own brother. That is why inviting a foreigner into a brotherly fray, into a brotherly fight is very dangerous. It's ignorance. When the Fulani finished killing his brother, the king, a Yoruba man that was the Oba of Ilorin, you know what he said? Tell them, say, okay, thank you very much, now you can go, take your booties as much as you can go back. They told him, you are an idiot. Do you think that we come here to joke when we help you after we leave? They turn around and killed him and took over, and that is how they are in charge of a Ilorin today. That is what they do. They go to, these are the characters, the manipulations of a colonizer. When they come, they turn your brother, they turn you against your brother. They use religion, turn you against your brother. Now you now take them, foreigners, as your brother against your blood brother. When they finish eliminating you, when you finish eliminating that your brother, you think that you have new people, foreigners, as your brothers because you are with them as one religion. They will turn against you and kill you and take over the land. That is what the Fulani has been doing. But the Hausa people, their eyes are beginning to open. They're now trying to understand. It's not a day job, but it is filtering. So continue listening, please.
They call us Maguzawa, non-religionists, and it's a lie. Just is a propaganda because they want to rule us every day. We are like a slave to them. It's not that enough. Now they are killing our people each and every day. They are killing our people each and every day. And their people are not talking. Minister, everything has to do with politics. They are the one. Katsina is Hausa land. The people that are doing governor, like the one I know since I grew up, all of them are Fulanis. The 4 governors are Fulanis. Why?
Anywhere they are, they insert. You see these people, they put their people on political top, governors, senators, to represent the people. The people are the conquered, the indigenous population. Also, they put their own Fulani as imams. So they capture these two sides that controls human being: political side, religious side. Now the population becomes the slave. You see that? That is why also our people, if you are hearing my voice, don't say that it is a tribalism. Call it tribalism, call it anything. Yes, we should be tribal, we should be proud of our tribes. That is our nationality. That is it. If you and an Igbo man is paying allegiance, yeah, that the Jew is a Yoruba person, you are lost. I'm telling you honestly, you are lost. Take it to the bank. It doesn't, it's only our people that tribalism. Be proud to say that yes, all of us, they themselves that are talking, labeling you as a tribalist, they are more tribalist than you. Look at how they are defending evil because their brother is in power. Just look at it. Look at it. So what they do, they fix their people on these 2 fronts, 2 hierarchies, 2 fronts that control the mindset of people: political side and religion. Finish. The people are finished. In our own case, that is why the caliphate, they always impose governors to us. The people they sanction, the people, the people they allow. That is why you see, don't you see Soludo? He has gotten second term because of what they told him, the condition they gave to him, and he fulfilled it. That he must come out and talk openly. He's the only governor, I think he's the only governor that spoke openly against Donald Trump. That they're calling that, Christians are killing Christians in the southeast. Why? This is a condition they give to him, the caliphate, in order for them to give him the second term. And when our people in Anambra think that, it is your vote that made him, no, come on, shut up. He said, you are ignorant. So this is how the caliphate works. In as much as they cannot impose a Fulani direct Osman Gumi on us as a governor, as a senator, they now choose Igbo man, Igbo people, and groom them, condition them, and give them power over us. That is what we are suffering. So when you are hearing this lady lamenting, it is also the same thing that we are suffering as Biafrans. Continue listening, please.
It's only one house. All of them are Fulani. Even vice governor is Fulani.
So what am I trying to say there? The Fulani manipulations. That is what you are seeing. The Christian genocide is real. But when they talk about the Muslims being killed, yes, Muslims are being killed. It is double. The terrorists are committing genocide against Christians. Now, after the people that help them, the non-Muslims, they also remove them. They also kill them because they are not Fulani. You see that? They are not Fulani. So after helping them to get what they want generally, now they now go their own. Say, okay, these people, they are Muslims, but they are not Fulani. So we have used them as Muslims. Now they need to give way, and they scatter them, they kill them. This is what is going on. Mazi Jonathan, please. You can come in what I played. Mazi, please, over to you for the meantime.
Thank you very much, Mazi Jonathan. This lady has spoken, now is an era of enlightenment, and everybody is thinking. Everybody is thinking. Everybody's mind is working. And what this lady has said, we can see it is something that she has observed and come to a conclusion that now something is off. And that is the beauty of what we are doing here. That's why we must not stop. I want to draw our attention to something so that I can link it back to this. For us to understand the level of sophistication of this sultanate and those people that think for them. They gather information, they know what's about to happen, and they begin to take steps. You remember that sometime in March this year, Alhaji Mujahid Asari Dokubo, the Amayanabo of LM Kalabari in River State. The March this year, I don't remember the exact date, he was appointed the President General of Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs in Southeast and South-South. Do you remember that?
Of course I do.
Yeah. Now, let's look back in the 1800s. What was the accusation that Osman Danfodio used to remove Serki Yonfa, the Serki Hausawa at that time? One of the major accusations is that he is Mazi, which is what this lady just said. They call Maguzawa. Maguzawa simply traditionalists, basically. Traditionalists, what the Christians would like to refer to as idol worshippers. He accused Sekinyonfa of not being a true Muslim because he still practices his Hausa tradition. Now, the reason I had to mention the title of Asari Dokubo alongside his other title as Alhaji is for us to understand that Asari Dokubo is a traditional ruler of a people that are majority, not Muslim, but traditionalists. And I've seen him so many times performing acts that show that he is a traditionalist. The same thing that Sekinyonfa was, and he was killed and removed. Asari Dokubo is, and he was appointed the President General of Islamic Supreme Council Affairs in the south side, which is basically in the Biafran region. Now, here is the interesting part. You realize that it's not as if they do not know that he's a traditionalist that practices Islam alongside. It's not as if, by their estimation, that they do not know that he's not qualified, at least based on what they preach. But they needed a tool to use for a time like this. If you come to the Southwest, you don't have a President General of the Supreme Council of Islam, of Islamic Affairs. If you look at that title, is a title that is reserved for the whole Nigeria, reserved for the Sultan of Sokoto. But in the case of Asari Dokubo, in order to be able to boost his ego, they gave him that title without any registered organization. They just announced it to him. When it comes to the Southwest Nigeria, you have the MUSWE and the Muslim Ummah of Southwest Nigeria. Now, this Muslim Ummah of Southwest Nigeria is a part of the larger body of NSCI, which is the National Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs, which is headed by Sultan Sokoto. Is part of that organization. It's not a regional organization per se. It's part of the whole organization. And the president of that organization, the head of it in the Southwest, is a deputy president general, South. Let me put this very simple. They have a big umbrella organization for which Sultan Sokoto is the head. Now, the one representing South, which is in charge of the Muslim Ummah of Southwest, is a deputy in the whole national body for the South. When we talk about South, when the Nigerians tell you South, they are Southwest and what they call South, South and Southeast. But now, they now created something small for the Kubo to make him feel he belongs. And they say, okay, you are now in charge of Southeast and South South. This deputy, Alhaji Rasaki Oladejo, which is the head of that of Southwest, and Vice President General representing the entire South. So this one that they put the Kubo to be in charge, is he in charge under this Alhaji Rasaki? Or is he in charge on his own? Or is he in charge under the Sultanate? Now, for you to and he said that they are calling on the government to confront this so-called bandit, the planet terrorist, so that there will be peace. that after all, he is not asking for something that has never been done before. He is not asking for something that has never
Mazi, I don't know, your voice is cracking, please. Can you change position a bit? Go on. I want to catch every word you say, please. Go on. Yeah, go on. Let's see. Go on.
Is it okay now?
Yes, it's better. It's highly better now. Yes.
Now, I was saying, let us understand that this man is equating the activities of the Fulani understand that this man is equating the activities of the Fulani understand that this man is equating the activities of the Fulani let us understand that this man is equating the activities of the Fulani I don't remember the night that going into any community, killing people, burning down houses, and I have never heard that. Now, Shekumi is equating the Fulani terrorists with the Niger Delta people. A movement that was practically led by Alhaji Mujahid Asad Dokubo. The movement that he was a key figure in it. As this has been said by the same people who honored him to be the Prince General of the Islamic Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs in South, South and Southeast, as they want us to refer to it. Will he have the courage to be able to step out and say, no, don't do that. No, don't do that. The movement that I led had a moral backing. The movement that I led has a very fundamental reason behind it. We were youth. We were dumb. We were being taken advantage of. Our resources were being taken and we have nothing to show for it. Lives are being lost every day because we don't have structure. Even though we know in the end of the day, he took advantage of that and made himself billionaires and the people are still suffering. That aside. But at least will he have to come out and at least defend for the sake of morality that you cannot equate the Niger Delta movement with your terrorist activities of the Fulani people. What is that thing that Sheikh Gumi will tell us today? That this is how the Fulanis were being treated badly, for which they have to take arm and kill everybody, and they have to now be compensated for killing everybody and say, please, we beg you, don't kill again, take money, take position, take over the Nigerian army so that there will be peace. But you know why the people would not speak? Because he has been trapped into that false narrative of religion. He has been put under that umbrella for which if you speak, it's as if you are speaking against your religion. But what they have done is to rope him in, and historically, one day, it will be said that when certain Islamic scholars, equated the Fulani terrorism with the Niger Delta movement, there was nobody from Netherlands who was able to come out and say, no, it's not true. Even the leaders of the movement at that time, they were still alive and held, and none of them came to counter it. And because of that, it is true. In the future, people are going to make reference to that. So will you accept that the Niger Delta guys, the Avengers and the rest of them, that they were how many, which community have they ransacked? Who have they killed? They only agitated because they were treated badly. And this is why we say that these people are very manipulative. What they are giving you today, you may not understand what they are going to take from you tomorrow. You may not understand it, but they always plan ahead. Like you said, Sheikh Gumi is the head of, in fact, is the founder of the movement called Jamaat Izalat al-Bida Waka, which is a movement that they call Izala, the most violent sect, found in Nigeria. They are the Sunni sect that they can take away the life of anybody as long as you disagree with them. But this is because they are using that and populate. If there is any that you know of that is headed, please call us and tell us which of the Zala mosque. There's no headed by a flag. Tell us one. We can't find it because that is what they are using to control everywhere, and they claim superiority over everybody. Mazi Jonathan, please.
There were Mazi. Do not forget that we are talking about the Sokoto Caliphate manipulation, and that is what is going on. This report that has been there about the Christian genocide, it is real. But the same Sokoto Caliphate is trying to manipulate every other people using sovereignty of Nigeria, using all kinds of propaganda or the other, in order to make them get what they want. That is how they behave. Now, I want to read this news headline, some news headlines first, before I play another clip. There is this news headline today, or is today November 15th? Yes. A former minister under Buhari regime from Plateau, Solomon Lalong, he says Plateau is witnessing genocide. 64 communities forcefully taken over. Buhari's minister Solomon Dalong laments. Let me read a bit. This man was a minister under Buhari, Minister of Youth and Sports Development. But because of the position he is, he couldn't make noise about what is happening to his people. Today he's no more in power. He now can talk. Compare it to Daniel Buala. Compare it to him. Daniel Buala is from Borno State, southern Borno. He cannot even go back to his village. He lives he has Canadian passport. His family all lives in Canada. He cannot go back to his house. But he is a person being used by the caliphate. They must look for a willing tool and get it. I'm telling you. What the caliphate is doing. I'm exposing, Radio Biafra, we expose their manipulation so that you understand. Whatever that is being exposed, it should no longer be a secret. The caliphate has found out that, look, this Muslim tickets that they engage in, that it is also backfiring. That is the reason why they are scavenging. They have been scavenging for any Christian they can use as and put him there as the president to replace Tinubu. Because for them, Tinubu, played the first game on them. During the campaign, Tinubu was doing as if he's going to die tomorrow. Very fragile. Every time, even to talk, he will be sleeping. All these are pretense because he knows what he's doing. And these people, they say, the caliphate, they say, okay, don't worry, he's a man. Because we know that once he's there, highest 6 months, he's gone. So Shetima will take over. But they immediately, Tinubu took over power. You need to outsmart your enemies. I'm telling you. Immediately, Tinubu took over power. Now he shows his real self. That he is 40. He's not even up to 50 in his actions. Now they saw that they have been duped. And this issue of Christian genocide came up. Remember that this is not the first time. When people are talking about this, Donald Trump, during his first time in office, he mentioned it to Buhari about the Christian genocide. So it's something that he knew. When people are being told, manipulate, it is the caliphate that is manipulating. When people are being manipulated that this is about Trump, they want to come and bomb Nigeria, take over Nigeria resources, I laugh. Trump has known this, and it has been one of his policies before even he entered the second time in office. But people tend to forget very easily. He confronted Buhari. That is the reason why also the caliphate sponsored, they pulled their money. They sponsored Kamala Harris, the Democrat presidential candidate. They sponsored Kamala Harris so that to make sure that Trump did not win election. But unfortunately for them, he won. These are the things that are going on. So when people are talking about Trump, this and that now, that it is IPOB that is manipulating, ask them, 2016 or 17, when Trump directly confronted late Buhari, in Washington, what happened that time? Is it IPOB? The caliphate, they know how to manipulate people. They are masters of manipulation. I said, look at the voice of Buwala. It's Buwala that is representing the Nigerian government now, talking down on this Christian genocide. They use a Christian himself. He goes there. He will tell the world that I'm a Christian. So no genocide is committed again. But I'm a Christian. If anything like that, I will talk. The caliphate understands politics. Are you getting what I'm saying? I say they understand what is real politics, and that is why they are on top. They are using Bola. They are supplying him with any money he wants and he needs, any type of comfort he needs. They pump him. Now do not be surprised that even Jonathan, good luck Jonathan, they talked about bringing him back. It is the caliphate. Don't think that when they do it, many of our people will say yes, we support the caliphate. They know when to hitch and run. They know when to stop. They know when to stoop. They know when to lie down. They are highly calculative. But unfortunately, the indigenous people in that Nigeria, they are only driven by sentiment. Do not be surprised if, for example, good luck Jonathan, they bring him out to support him. Yeah, but people will say yes, this is our. They don't know that they have calculated, the caliphate have calculated everything. When they use Jonathan, for example, to remove power from Chinedu. You know, Jonathan has gone one term before, and under Nigerian constitution, he can only go another one term of 4 years and no more. People need to understand how things work. The caliphate, they are wise. When it comes to politics, I respect them. I'm telling you. That is why they're on top. You know, when you try to counter what I'm saying, now I ask you, why then, if you think that they are not politically savvy, why then are they ruling everybody? You know, explain to me, let me understand. Why are they on top? So let me read Solomon Dalong's statement. A former Minister of Youth and Sports Development under late Muhammadu Buhari's administration, Solomon Dalong, has described the ongoing violence in Plateau State as nothing short of genocide, accusing the authorities of allowing organized criminal elements to take over indigenous communities in what he called a full-blown attempt at ethnic cleansing. He is saying this because he is no more in the government now, in the regime. He was there during Buhari regime and all these things were happening. Did he say a word? Look at how, when you look at indigenous people in that particular zone called Nigeria, with their short-sightedness, just watch Daniel Bwala talking. I don't see a human being in him, honestly. It's normal. These are normal. Look at Reno Mokri. Look at all of them. People that are so cheap, very cheap human beings without dignity. Because of political office, they don't care whether their people are being massacred in wholesale. Look at Soludo. Now he won office, he won another 4-year term. The caliphate has given him another 4-year term. And after 4 years, what happened? Will it be the end of the world? But they don't think about, okay, the legacy, what they have done. It will continue haunting their people till after their tenure in office. They don't know that. Now Solomon Dalong is talking. Dalong, who spoke during an interview on News Central, traced the origins of the conflict from political differences to ethnic and religious tensions before evolving into organized criminality. It is not organized criminality, it is complete terrorism with an agenda. You know, people should understand, when genocide is committed, there is a reason for that. It is an agenda. There is a demographic change which the Fulani Caliphate, the Sokoto Caliphate, is trying to instill in the whole of Nigeria, starting from the north down to central. That is it. They are trying to establish. When you type list of tribes in Nigeria today and their locations, I am telling you, when you reach to Fulani, you will see that the states they are in, almost all northern states, including some part of middle belts, and they will be coming south, including Plateau, which they have never been. These are aliens. They are never indigenous population, but all of a sudden they are gaining ground everywhere. So this is the reason of the manipulation, the genocide, in order to install them. Ask yourself, if there is no Christian genocide, why are there refugee camps in Nigeria? No, tell me. Tell me now. Who is occupying their lands, their ancestral lands? In a country, now you have refugee camps, more than 10 million refugees in Nigeria, but it's not making news headlines all the time. More than 10 million refugees, Nigerian internally displaced people. There are, I'm not talking of those that run to Niger Republic, indigenous population, those that are in Cameroon, those that are in Benin Republic. I'm not talking of them. Now you ask yourself, who is occupying their land? That is how reasonable people talk or speak. These people, They left their communities in Plateau, in Benue, in Kogi, in different parts of the northern and central part of Nigeria. Now they are living in another part as in refugees in Bacha. Now, why can't Nigerians ask who is occupying their lands? 1 million people, do you think is a little number of people? Talk less of going 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 million individuals living in refugee camps. But the government is not talking about, the Nigerian news media is not shining light on it. Why? Because of the Sokoto Caliphate manipulations. This is what they are doing. Now Solomon Dalong, who has been part of the system that also committed or has been committing genocide against his people, today is talking. Do you know why I call these people? They are never dignified human beings. Do you know that during his term in office as a Minister of Youth and Sports Development, he could have been shouting about what is happening and resign that no, I cannot be part of the government that is allowing the killing of my people. Genocide again. You know, that is dignity. He said, no, I cannot be part of it. But he was there, go down. Now he's no more a minister, he is now talking. This is how bad it is in the mindset of Africans. Very, very bad. I'm telling you. Now another news headline says kidnapping gangs attack Zakibiam in Benue, force residents to pay 100,000. Mazi, I don't know whether you want to say something about this before we continue, because we are getting to the other side. Mazi Obasi.
Yes, Mazi Jonathan.
Yes, I say you wanted to say something. I thought you wanted to say something about before I read another news headline and we go to the other clip.
Okay, Solomon Dalong that you talk about, you see, it's a bit of two things. One, because of the power that he was enjoying that time. Secondly, because where he comes from is one of the most fortified part of the Middle Belt. Solomon Dalong is from Lantan. Setarok man is from Lantan South, from a place called Sabongida. I happen to even know his family house. Now, these people from that part of Plateau State, they are so fortified that nothing would have happened in that place. Remember what that former is called Pantami, the Minister of Digital and Economy. You remember when he was crying and the audio that was leaked, that he was crying and calling on his people to attack Plateau. He was referring to partly where this man come from, because of the dealt to their people in Yellow. This I bring back is to re-emphasize something that that some of the men that we have as a people, indigenous people, is, oh, this is happening in Yellow. Benue, it has not come to my place. Oh, it never reached me. Oh, on that side, you have to go for my side. Yeah, that these people, what they are doing is to attack from the point of weakness. One day, they look for the weaker one and move there. But the only way you can ensure your own security, that's when the beard of your neighbor fire, you should water and quench it, because it may get to yours, and we need to cultivate that. Mutani young woman, mutani plachi, mutani arewa, the ku young asaline. The men kumuchi one duk wani mangan da muke yi kullum mu zo a magana ba biyan amma saboda Solomon Dalon in suka sarrafi a mulki ba su iya magana da masu wanda za su samu su ce ba su iya magana shi ya sa mu muke magana shi ya sa mu muke kiranku shi ya sa mu muke dawo hankalinku akan abubuwan da ke faruwa a kasar Hausawa a kasar Arewa. Wa'yansu ku idan ana maganan nan a ninku a zuciyanku dai bai kai wurinku ba bai kai garinku ba ai ni dai ne karok ne lantan south da lantan north ba wanda zai iya shiga wurin to kila gaskiya ne yau kila gaskiya na gobe gata ba idan in suka gama da wuraren da ba su da tsaro da wuraren da ba su da karfi sai su samu damar su zo wurin ku hanya kaɗai ne za ku iya kare kanku a hannun wa'annan fulanuka wani a so su samu a duniyan nan in ba kashe mutane da kwashe dukiyarsu kasashensu ba hanya kaɗai ne hanya ɗaya kaɗai kuma shine ku haɗa kai ku haɗa baki ku yi taro da kanku ku yi taro ku samu makamai ku kare kanku idan abu na faruwa a Wukari a Taraba abu na faruwa a Nasarawa ya kamata ku san cewa wanda ake musu irin wannan cin adalcin wanda ake takura musu nan su ma yan asali ne kaman ku yan ƙasa na asali ne kaman ku shi yasa ya kamata ku haɗa kai ku haɗa baki ku samu makamai in yana faruwa a wani wuri ku bi su idan a wasa ke faruwa ku je wurin in a wadata ke faruwa ku je wurin in a lafiya ke faruwa ku je wurin in a kurmi ke faruwa ku je wurin ku kare yan uwanku idan ba haka ba idan suka gama da su suka kwashe kasashen su za su dawo kanku. In a nutshell, for those who do not understand what I said, for you, an indigenous person in the entire North, the reason we do what we do on this radio, we speak, is because people like Dalong, who are enjoying power and the little crumbs from the table of their masters, have their mouths so full that they can't speak for you. Imagine if 10 million people in the entire North were wiped out from the time that Dalong was in power till now that he spoke. Just imagine that, because he's been quiet. That is why we are happy to do what we are doing here. We're not being paid, but we do it for the love of the protection of life and property of every indigenous person. And the other part is, some of you who also think that you come from part of the North where you are secure, nothing will happen to you. Southern Kaduna used to be like that. It used to be a bit secure. Zangon Katak used to be a bit secure. Kwarafa in Jos used to be a bit secure. Now what is it? Today, Jos North is looking like it is secure. But an indigenous person within Jos North, cannot comfortably go to Angwarogu in Jos with peace of mind. He can't. An indigenous person of Plateau who is living in Jos cannot comfortably in the evening and say, I am going to Angwarogu. He won't come back. This is not about today, or this is donkey of years. He won't come back. If you make mistakes, that you will be gone. You will not come back. So instead of you to sit somewhere and think that your area is secure, you as indigenous people must put everything aside, put your head together, have organized kind of security, and protect yourself from these people. When something is happening in Latvia, don't say because you are in Shandam you will not assist. It is your job to go there and protect them. Something is happening in Kurmi, in Dampai, something is happening in Lantan, something is happening in Pangshin, something is happening in Kanke, anywhere. Something is happening in Southern Kaduna. It is your job in Benue. Anyway, it's your job to organize yourself, go and assist those people and ward these idiots off. If not, when they are done with the weaker people, they will now organize themselves and come for you, and by then you will have no any means of security. And that is why it's important that you listen to the calls, that you are getting the education, the enlightenment that you are getting from this Radio Biafra. It is for your own good. Please, Mazi Jonathan.
The position of Solomon Dalong in the former government of Buhari is the same thing is repeating with Daniel Buwala, who is also a Christian, that his people are massacred daily. But today he is going around London.
I call him Daniel Iscariot.
Laundering the image of the genocides is appalling. Mazi, if you are talking, what of governor of Anambra State, Soludo, that is talking rubbish just for him to enter power. Mazi, sometimes in the name you think of what are these people? I'm telling you, I don't know.
He has been promised to demarcate Peter Obi, that if he demarcates Peter Obi after Tinubu, they will give him the chance. He realized that every polling booth in Anambra was rigged for Soludo, except that of Peter Obi, where he comes from. The polling booth where Peter Obi votes in Anambra was won completely by the APC. It was a deliberate attempt. In fact, it was deliberately engineered that APC should win Peter Obi's polling booth so that he can further humiliate him. So what he's doing, they're promising the same thing. You see, what they do to our people is they bring 20 people and promise them the same thing. And
yes,
go and start killing themselves.
Yes, Maz, you are completely right. Maz, that is what they do. That's why I said our people are mbada when it comes to politics. The same promise they give to this person, the caliphate will see, go and give the other person the same promise. Go, more 20 of them give them the same promise, and they continue killing each other. But we must continue. Now, let me just go towards reading the second news headline, which where is it? Kidnapping. No, it's still what is happening. Kidnapping gangs attack Zakibiam in Benue, force residents to pay 100,000 protection fees. How can this be happening in a country that is having a government? In Benue, and do you know what? This was on 12th, about 3 days ago, the news headline. Sheikh Gumi accuses middle belt groups of fabricating Christian genocide, burying empty coffins. That's why, I call this man an animal. This man is supposed not to even move out of Nigeria. I'm telling you honestly. He is supposed to be caged. By now, he's supposed to be inside. I don't know. Look at Mazi Nnamdi Kanu languishing in DSS dungeon with the evil hatred of Yorubas and others. They are lavish, but somebody, an animal that is killing them. Mazi, I don't know why Africans hate their Messiah and they love their killers. I am telling you honestly. Mazi, I think whether it's natural instinct or programmed, Africans, they love their killers, they worship their killers. Look at Mazi, all this time of the escalation of Fulani killings everywhere. Every time they flood, both in the Yoruba land or in every part of Nigeria. Oh, Fulani, they are killing us. Oh, they have killed how many people? Oh, these are Fulani. Oh no, they continue sending out videos in the social media space. But do something about it. They'll tell you, no, Igbo man, no. They don't want to do, no. For Biafran to go, no. This is what they are being used. Look at Sheikh Gumi accusing middle belt groups of fabricating Christian genocide, burying empty coffins. If you are a victim of this, if your people were massacred by this Fulani, and you hear this man saying this type of thing, insensitive to people's sentiments or people's grief, how do you come and say no, one Nigeria must be one, there is a unity of Nigeria? How can you coordinate Nigeria with this type of hatred, with this type of insensitivity? It is a question I ask people. But the Caliphate, the Sokoto Caliphate, has manipulated or is still manipulating the indigenous people in Nigeria, because they notice something, that the indigenous people occupying that space, they are foolish. That is my simple conclusion. The Caliphate, you see, they have concluded that look, the indigenous people that are occupying that place that we call Nigeria today, they are foolish. They are fools. They can be easily manipulated. Otherwise, how can a whole tribe, a Hausa race, be manipulated by one Fulani person, Othman Dan Fodio, and they fell? It surprised him after 4 years of war. And not that Othman Dan Fodio came with Fulani so like him. No, he used religion, manipulated, just like what the Hausa girl lady was saying, that they use religion to manipulate them. So it is now time for them, in order to do what? To differentiate between religion and custom and language and all these things, that the Fulani have been pumping hatred to them, so that they hate their brothers and they hate other non-Muslims, like the Igbos and others. So, the people, the Caliphate, they are seeing that the people in that area are fools. They are manipulable, easily manipulated, and the people that they saw that can resist them, that is Biafrans, they now rally every other indigenous population to hate them. That is the manipulations of the Sokoto Caliphate. Now let me play this clip before I open the line, so that Mazi, you can also talk about it. Mazi, Obasi, I hope you are hearing me, right?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, good. Okay, please, let me play the clip. This is some time ago. One of the kings in Benue State, the Tor TV, what he said, Professor James Ayase. This is what he said. Just listen.
Concern about the misinformation. And misrepresentation of the security crisis in Benue State. Your Excellencies, it is not herder farmers clashes.
He was addressing Tinubu, for your information. He was addressing Tinubu during his visit after the massacre, the genocide committed against his people in Benue. That is it. This is one of the Christian genocides. Please go on listening, please. Let me start afresh.
Concern about the misinformation and misrepresentation of the security crisis in Benue State. Your Excellencies, it is not header farmers clashes, it's not communal clashes, it's not repressor attacks or skirmishes. It is this misinformation that has led to suggestions such as remain tolerant, negotiate for peace, learn to live with your neighbors. What we are dealing with here is saying about the misinformation and misrepresentation of the security crisis in Benue State. Your Excellencies, it is not header farmers clashes, it's not communal clashes, it's not repressor attacks or skirmishes. It is this misinformation that has led to suggestions such as remain tolerant, negotiate for peace, learn to live with your neighbors. What we are dealing with here in Benue is a calculated, well-planned, full-scale genocidal invasion and land-grabbing campaign by header terrorists and bandits, which has been on for decades and is worsening every year. Wrong diagnosis will always lead to wrong treatment. So we are dealing with something far more sinister than we think about. It's not learning to live with your neighbors, it is dealing with a war. The second apprehension, Your Excellency, we have is the politicization of the crisis. Politicians in the states are busy politicizing the crisis, passing blames instead of joining hands to address the crisis. We hear there are some politicians who would even prefer that the crisis should worsen so that it will be a basis for declaration of a state of emergency in Benue State. Your Excellency, this is unfortunate, and any politicians that prays for more people to die for such a project is against the wishes of the people of Benue State. Appeal. Your Excellency, Benue State has made a lot of sacrifices to keep this country united. Many of our people died during the Civil War. We paid the supreme price for this country to keep this country united. Why should we be treated like this? This, what you have come to condone us, is just one in a series of several massacres in this state. What has Benue State done?
Okay, Mazi Jonathan, before you come in, please. He asked, what has Benue done? Benue, although it's a state now, but it comprises some tribes. What they have done is the caliphate manipulated them among other people in order to use Nigeria sentiment to manipulate them to kill Biafrans during 1967 to 70 genocidal war. Save Nigeria, Nigeria is their country, this and that, and they isolated and they killed Biafrans. In the name of saving Nigeria, the same Nigeria now, after getting their Nigeria, which they think is for all of them, the Fulani start committing the genocide against them, in order to let them understand that Nigeria is not for all of us. It's not for all of them. It is for the Fulani. That is what they have done. So this man is telling Tinubu, or was telling Tinubu, that it is not farmers headers clash as being portrayed by BBC and other news media. When BBC is going down, BBC is going down. What they did to Trump, Donald Trump, it is recorded, is going down. You know, I think their director has resigned because of that scandal. They did turning black into white and turning white into black. That is BBC. So BBC have been portraying the genocide that is going on in Nigeria by the terrorists as farmers headers clash because of climate change, this and that. He said no, it is not that, and he is right. So you know, these are the Fulani manipulations. They continue pumping money to send out the narrative that it is farmers headers clash. It is being caused by the climate, blame climate. But he said it, he told Donald Trump the same reply that no, there is no Christian genocide in Nigeria. It was what is going on is farmers headers clash being caused by climate change. Have people forgotten? These are their manipulations. They spend money to push it. They lobby. They pay international lobbies. You know, Tony Blair is a lobbyist. He has a lobbying firm with others. They pay them heavy amount of money in order to push the narrative, so that when you hear it in CNN, you don't think that it is just normal. Oh, they say it like no. People lobby for it. That is why, you know, we have been calling for indigenous population to rise up against this caliphate. Stop being manipulated to hate Igbos, to hate Biafrans. No, these people are spending looted money on lobbying. As that animal Gumi, what he's saying, accusing middle belt of faking the genocide, that they are burying empty coffins. As this man said, that look, wrong diagnosis leads to wrong medication. This is Fulani. It is Fulani manipulation. They manipulate people to make wrong decisions, make wrong diagnosis, you know, and all are flowing towards their favor of Fulanization of Nigeria. Everybody in Nigeria. That is where they are going. So Mazi, please come in before we open the line. Mazi, please. Mazi Obasi, come in.
Yes, thank you very much, Mazi Jonathan. You know, when I listen to the motive and kind of made me a little bit sad. Sad because of what they are experiencing, and sad because of what our brothers in the Southwest will experience in the near future. And I can see them repeating these words that Totif was saying. What have we done to merit this kind of treatment? Our people have paid a supreme price during the civil war. to keep this country united. Today, Mazi, there are towns in Yoruba land. There are towns in Yoruba where you cannot be the king if you are not a Muslim. Leave Kwara, Ilorin, that one is already gone. I am talking about a prominent as Iwo. Certain Yoruba historians, even the Oluwo of Iwo currently does not believe he needs to bow to the Oni of Ife. Because certain historians, even amongst the Yorubas, does not believe that Ile-Ife is the founder of Yoruba land. There are many facts that point to the fact that Ile-Ife as a source of Yoruba land was just a historical manipulation. But that is a story for another time. In that history, it was, please permit me to digress a little bit. In that history, or in that, history, or that side, that school of thought, it is believed that even the Odua, who they believe arrived in Ife, married from a community called Iwo, which is the present day Iwo. That is why when he went to the town and he said he wanted to marry the princess, the eligible men in the community beat him up and tried to chase him, but was rescued by the king's guard. And after everything, he stayed there for a while. The king allowed him to marry his daughter. He brought her home, and he was asked in Ife, "Who is this?" And he says, "This is the suffering I got from Iwo," or basically the evidence of the beating I received in Iwo. That is why till today the Yorubas call wife Iyawo. Iya is suffering. Iya Timobalatiwo. This is the suffering I got all the way from Iwo. Now, a town as historically significant as Iwo, the king of that town today, even if you are qualified, you will have to be a Muslim before you become the king. Iwo is in Osun State. It's not even in Kwara State. It's in Osun State. And when Governor Rauf Arebosola was there, he ensured that the current Oluwo of Iwo was made the king. And he himself said that when he was about to be made the king, they told him that the king of Iwo must necessarily be the chief imam of the central mosque in Iwo. So you cannot be our chief imam if you're not a Muslim. Because of that, you need to be a Muslim before you become an Oluwo of Iwo. That is one. The recently passed Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Rashidi, when he passed on, is a king that has been there. In fact, a king that is older than Nigeria itself. He died, a traditional king, a traditional ruler of no small esteem as the Alaafin of Oyo. This is a kingdom of warriors, where the Egbas, the older tribe from the Yoruba, now known as Yoruba people, ran to for safety, died. And the clerics, the Islamic cleric, insisted that he must be buried according to the Islamic rite. As a people, your spirituality is defined by the things you do when you were born for the child and the things you do when people die. That is the beginning and the end, and it's the most significant part of your life. But they insisted. It's not about religion, but you have to understand how the Sultan of Sokoto, who is the President General of the entire Muslim Ummah in Nigeria is enforcing his agenda, his Fulani agenda, through this so-called member of Murik, member of, other association, Islamic association in other parts of Yoruba land. And today, in order to appear friendly to the Fulanis, Buhari was in power, a lot of things were happening. Fashorenti, yes, daughter was killed, and a lot of things happen in Yoruba land. They keep quiet. That is them spilling their blood and keeping quiet to keep Nigeria one. It doesn't have to be in a civil war. They are doing it now. They are helping Shetima in his agenda to burn down Igbo businesses, Biafran's houses and their businesses in Lagos State in a bid to keep the country one. They are on Twitter and everywhere attacking Igbos and blaming Igbo, and they lost their voice when a whole list of northern military officers, plan to overthrow Tinubu. Some people from the direct office of the NSA, Alhaji Nuhu Ribadu, who is a Fulani man. The Yorubas are mute, but they are attacking Biafrans and Igbos left, right, center. This is the price they are paying to put their brother in power, to keep him there. And someday, I hope that we'll keep record of this. Because when we are on this platform, trust me, some of the things we say, we don't plan to say them. Because this is a hallowed platform, there is a higher likelihood of the divine communicating with us. Someday, the Yorubas are going to look back and say, what have we done to deserve this? When you were killing our people, we keep quiet so that the Igbos will not say that you are bad. We help you maintain your image. When you plan to remove our brother from office, we could have escalated it. We could have said a lot of things. We didn't say it so that the Igbos will not say, hey, you see, we protected you. When you were even killing our people in the farms, we did not talk so that the Igbos will not justify their claim of Christian genocide. Because that's all it is. Everything that needs to bring national consciousness, it is being tagged an Igbo agenda. And some people gullibly forget whether or not it's an Igbo agenda or IPOB agenda or whatever you call it. Is it the reality or not? And the answer, of course, it is the reality. So for those Benue, for the Tortiv, I greet him. I greet him for speaking up. They did what they did during the Civil War. They blockaded our people in River Benue. They pushed a lot of our people to the River Benue. It's a sad experience. We heard from history. We know what happened. We knew the role that the thief people, the Doma people of Benue played in unaliving Biafrans during the Civil War to make sure that Nigeria remains one. But they were used by this same caliphate that we are talking about. When you see a blacksmith hitting on a particular spot on the metal, you should know that place is very, very important. Everything that we say tied back to the caliphate. They use the Benue people against Biafrans because they know they are at the border town, at the only entrance where we are linked by the bridge. and they situate them there, and they use them, and they call them one. You are our brother. Oh, the Fulani will even play and say, oh, Munchi, you know, we are from the same father, different mother, Munchi, and they're happy today. You are crying. For those of you who think that cutting your noses to spite your face is the best policy, a time will come, and I don't pray for that time, but certainly you will pay for this. So definitely a time will come when you say, whether when Biafra is already gone or not, you are going to say, I thought we did this thing to protect you, but today you are also doing it against us. Because that day will definitely come. There's no two ways about it. Mazi, Biafrans are not the kind of people that you would do evil to and expect that you are going to just go scot-free. Even when we don't retaliate, you always pay the price. And it's also in nature. You can't do anything about it. So my point is, whoever it is, individuals, politicians, social media users, that think that, you know, ranting against Biafrans is what is going to give you engagement, closing your eyes to the reality of a genocide right at your doorstep. Mazi Jonathan, when I was a little younger in the north, there are just Fulani people. I'm talking about, you know, late 80s or early 90s. We go to the farm, there's a particular Fulanese group that is known then as Bokoloji. There's a particular time of the year that people don't really allow their wives to go to farming because the Fulanis will kill you. And I'm talking about early 90s. Earlier on you played an audio, I think that was Damina speaking. The voice, I don't know if it was him, but I know the voice sounded like Damina. He was talking about...
It is him.
He was... Okay, good. He was talking about in the 80s. When people are just going on rampage killing people because they pray differently. In the early 90s, that one is not a story I know for myself. Certain time of the years, when the Fulanis begin to move down to the north, you don't go to farm alone. Because if they catch you in the farm for no just reason, they will just kill you. Gradually, they have upped their game. It used to be somewhere around Ukari, somewhere in those farming areas, you know, and in those days you only hear of large-scale killing in somewhere like Zongon Katab when it happened, you know, in certain areas in the far north. Today it is spreading, and these people have always been backed by the Sokoto Caliphate. These are factual. We're not making them up. So
Mazi, but what I say, Mazi, why these people all these years? I could also remember, you know, the people I knew that came from north that time, because we call it also Grawas, and you know, we don't know too much about it, you know. We that never even live in the north, but we see people that all of a sudden they came back. And we start thanking God. We see our parents visiting them, and their people start thanking God. Now they came back alive, but with nothing. These are people that maybe sometimes if they are coming on Christmas, they come with cars and this and that. People, you know, doing very well, but all of a sudden they came with nothing. And they'll be telling harrowing stories on a Friday, you know, now, you know, you don't know. So these people are hiding this, even the middle betters, you know, they are not escalating it to the extent it needs because of saving one Nigeria. Because what I see that, you know, what I see the caliphate, they will commit you. Mazi, there's one pattern I see with them. They must commit you in a way. Once they commit you, finish, you are gone. They can do you anything, you cannot. It's just like the way they commit our politicians. They use the blackmail, they hold them hostage with all those blackmail. So they committed these people with killing Biafran, saving Nigeria. So if anything that they're talking, they no, remember how remember Nigeria. Unity of Nigeria must be upheld. Even if all of you are perishing, remember we must save Nigeria. That is what I am seeing, Mazi. Even today, Sheikh Gumi is still using the same thing. No, we must, they are coming to put problem in our country, in Nigeria. As if a problem has not been there. Look at a video that is going around where the vice president of Nigeria met with terrorists, speaking that these are Fulani, you are Fulani from Mali. These are foreigners, but Nigerian indigenous people, they are not seeing it. Mazi, please go on, please go on.
Ali, thank you very much. You see, I used to use this statement to describe, quote unquote Nigerians. In most part of Africa, when you travel, the Nigerians, once again, quote unquote, are one of the most people in protecting their right outside. Alema, I remember one time, spoke about these things. So when you see a Nigerian man talking, you understand that he doesn't joke with his right. He's a very, they talk about that because they feel it's a good thing. But once you are within that territory called Nigeria, you will lose those energies because it will not get you anywhere. The system has been such that people are used to not getting justice. People are used to just keeping quiet. So they learn helplessness and they resign to their fate. And gradually, they are dying off. Gradually. One by one. As their elders are going, there is no more elders coming. Because they keep wiping them up. And they just become passive. They have this passive hope and some level of displacement, and they feel that well, it hasn't happened to me. I thank God, at least I'm still alive. Also, Wausa did not start today. We had the share of our own, and sometimes something as ridiculous as imagine Wausa did not start today. We had the share of our own, and sometimes something as ridiculous as imagine. What
So Mazi, this is really what happened that time. I know it, but I didn't know that. Yes, you really.
Yes, that was what happened. I wasn't that was what happened. Let me tell you the other case that happened in Yelwa that led to the death of thousands of people and burning of many property. I even lost a friend in that. I almost lost my own life because they almost set the house that we slept in on fire. Funny enough, the landlord who owns our shop, part of the people who organized the team to come and burn another house that is opposite his house that happens to be to a man who is from a place called Kakawa. And that person is an indigenous person, but he owned the house there, but does not live there. And there's somebody that's supposed to be his neighbor, who come born. Luckily, it began. They're sitting by our door, discuss. They are going the next one, and this one, and that one. One of them, this man is a good man. The one that owned this house is a very good man. He said, shut up. So very good man, so what? She was a Muslim, and luckily for us, it began to rain. The armies came at dawn and did nothing. Until it was about 6:30. The people who tried to step out before it was around 6, thought that the army is around, they are going to help them, end up being killed. But what happened that led to this fight? Something as minor as a Muslim guy was dating a Christian girl, beat up the girl. The next time in the evening he went to her. In those days in the north, they call something Jaga. Jaga is where you go in the evening to see your girlfriend or your boyfriend. You stand in some corner and you are chatting. Those who know the north will tell you, that is a normal thing. You don't the KFCs and the McDonald's and the Chicken Republic to take your girlfriend to. So it's in the evening, you go and stand in some corner and then you have a chat. And this guy went to visit the girlfriend. Then the brothers beat him up to beating their sister. The guy went back. Unfortunately, he sustained injury from the beating, and I learned that he later died. Because of that, an entire community was attacked, and people died. And when there was a attack, which was what made, and people died. And when there was
that I've lived there, Mazi Abasi, the question I wanted to ask him, it concerns you also. Let me ask it to you. Like he said, he was a child and he was seeing all these things, all this violence committed against people, indigenous people, even Igbos. Now, Mazi Abasi, I hope you are hearing me. Mazi Abasi, can you hear me? Mazi Abasi. Oh my God. Mazi Abasi, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. There was a question I wanted to ask this our brother, but he cut. So let me ask it to you because you lived there. I want to ask it generally to people that live in the north. You as a child, yes. It is not you. You say you were born there. You were taken there as a child, or you were born there. So you are not to blame. Now, but the question I want to ask is this. What was your parents telling you about the situation there? Or do they continue maintaining that everything is normal, or that you belong to that place, or after all this crisis every time? And maybe sometimes they target maybe Onyamiri, all these names they call. Is there no time your parents will call you and say, my son, look, what happened? Look, or just, okay, I may be like that. You go to your school and, Mazi Abasi, I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, I understand you. To a very large extent, we have those consciousness engraving in us in a very limited fashion, I will say. First of all, our parents made sure that we don't vote. Even though as at that time my elder brother was of voting age, my uncle who was staying with us was of course of voting age. They said no, don't go there. You are not from here. You don't have business choosing anybody. Don't go. Something happened now. They will start attacking you when you have no business in the election. So we never voted. That aside, my father told me about the Biafran war while we were in the north. As a matter of fact, I discovered a particular cloth in his closet that he never wore. So I asked him, I said, what is this cloth here that he never wore? Then he told me it was the for those who fought during the Biafran war. He himself fought in that war. Then he told me stories about how people had to die, about how they have to kill lizard and eat and whatever they can find to survive. He told me those stories. Another part also is when some of my friends will come around and we speak Hausa, we play, my mother will always shout, Hausa. You know, he's warned my friend a couple of times, if he's not going to speak Igbo with us when we're playing, he should not come to our house again. So yes, those things built in that consciousness in us that of course we're not from there. But then there is this thing that, you know, I realized that even my own father, I'm not my parent, but my mother was tired. She wanted to leave. Even also Abiola that my brother was talking about, we didn't go anywhere. Our father said we're not going anywhere, we stay here, nothing is going to happen. You know, we stayed till after the Osabiola happened and everyone came back. The thing that a lot of people, you know, anchor their reason on for going to Wausa is because they say, Ozu Mobe. Let me put it down. You understand what I mean by that? Ozu Mobe. That you go by about to miss your now. You go by about Noga, you know, you have to get TM. Nia Dagarona bar, Ogula Dagarona bar, you know. So you got about Ogo get your record there. Yeah, I got to off. I get your so you got to take off, you know, things like that. Because during the Osabiola, for example, after about 2 or 3 weeks, I remember very, very well that we couldn't even buy salt. There was no way to buy salt, let alone buy sugar. Sugar was a luxury.
Why?
All the Biafrans, because all the Biafrans are going home. So once they leave, you can't find anything to buy. All the Biafrans have gone home. They've run because of the Osabiola. Everywhere was scanty. You can't find bread. Who does your bread? You can't find bread. You can't find sugar to buy. You can't find palm oil. So we were basically surviving on anything we can cook. That is how, you know, bad it was without our people. And you see, if we should take the census of our people strictly, Biafrans definitely are way more in terms of population than any other tribe put together. Because in every place, in the buying on Mazi, they are more than buying.
Yes, that one, yes.
I can say that without thinking twice. They are way more than. No, Mazi.
What I always think is, many of our people were traumatized with that war. I'm telling you, and there is no. That's why there was no reorganization. Nothing. Everybody was left. Our people were traumatized. We are traumatized people, honestly speaking. And that's why we need to, we run to our killers for, it's very, very sad. It's very, very sad, honestly. Caller on signal, Mazi, you have been there, please. Can you hear me? Welcome to the program.
Yes, Professor Jonathan.
Did you also live in the north? Experience.
No, Professor Jonathan, I never live in the north.
Okay.
But I have stories about the north.
Okay.
The highest I've gone to the north is Abuja. Was Abuja. So Professor Jonas, without going to north, we have grown to a point that we have developed intellectual sophistication, that we've come to the realities of what is happening. So, from my own point of view, although I was in another meeting, but using the other ear to listen to your programs. So, the last clip you played explained every down thing about the Funane mesmerization of the indigenous northerners. Connie the Kanuris, Connie the Nupes, and every other ethnic population in the north. Because what the Funanis have succeeded in doing is to yoke religion, politics, and tradition together under one umbrella. So, and that has been the greatest dismay they have done to the indigenous populations. So, whatever thing Funani does, every other northerner from their respective tribes see from the corridor of religion, and it is telling heavily on what is happening in the north. Professor Jonas, as a student of chemistry, I know what free radical does, and the Funanis are acting as a free radicals in the present day northern Nigeria. So it is not something that anybody would now come to claim or pretend as though they don't understand or don't know what is happening. And if you narrow it to the statement of Shegumi, I would tell you that Shegumi is an extension of the Sokoto Caliphate. Because whenever Shegumi speaks, he is speaking the mind of the Sultan of Sokoto. Because these people has a way they operate and they work. And that is why whenever he speaks, Sultan of Sokoto cannot come up to contradict him, because he speaks his mind. How else can the that imbecile in self-exile begin to want people to believe that our brothers, even Prophet Jonah, do you know that some of these people that are in Benue, that they are part of them are from Ebonyi State, my own Ebonyi State.
Of course.
They carve out from Ebonyi State to Benue. Do you understand me? So they are my brothers, especially from this lower Benue. And some of us from Enugu State, they carve to Kogi. You understand? And that is why sometimes we look at the activities of Ohanes and Igbo, and we begin to vet, if we begin to vet our anger on them, because they never do proper job they are supposed to do to bring our people under one fold, even during the advent of this state creation, without rancor to consulting the indigenous populations. You understand? And still the military administration went on to balkanize our people into the north. How can you now begin to tell me that an Igbo man is a northerner? You understand me? So it is very, very unfortunate. So now when they kill our people and they in thousands and they bury our people, and this very idiot that call himself Shegumi would want the world to believe that our people are burying empty corpses. Professor Jonas, what I have to tell the world is that the Christian genocide is happening every day. Today, tomorrow, it is happening. But what the Funanis are trying to do is to downplay on it, because they have stored amassed enough wealth as they can to lobby any highest lobbying firm in the world. You understand me? And they are trying to downplay this, because we have been crying on the Christian genocide that is going on. And mind you that this Christian genocide is being perpetrated by the Fulani terrorists, because Fulani terrorists are using different ways to ensure that they subjugate the indigenous populations, either as herders or either as this non-terrorist, or as the terrorists in uniform as a Nigerian army. You understand me? Like me and you heard what happened in the Bruno, where the ISWAP ambushed some Nigerian militaries, and the general among them was kidnapped. But today we are hearing that he has gone back to the military base. But the military are trying to downplay on it, to cover up this thing. How would we say that military is not compromised? Because a general, a brigadier general that was kidnapped from the ambush, now went back to the military base, who is supposed to be a victim in the hand of this ISWAP terrorist. But we are hearing that this general made his way into the military cycle. So it tells you how compromised this Nigerian army is. Even though why they are trying to downplay on it that this general was not do this or did that, but report has it, and you cannot controvert the reports. You know, Nigerian military is known for propaganda. You understand? So now what we are saying is the only way for us to exist is to balkanize Nigeria, so that the ordiners who are comfortable with the Sharia, especially the Funanis, will be in their Funani cycle, and we that are in traditionalists and the some of us that are Judeo-Christians will be free to practice our own kind of religion that we desired, without anybody encroaching on your own. You understand? So, Professor Jonas, the statement of Solomon Lalong, the former Minister of Youth and Sports, it is unfortunate that one thing that unites Nigerian politicians is corruption to the detriment of the poor masses. This man was an active member of Buhari regime, and it is unfortunate that his people are the people that are suffering the worst of this Fulani genocide. And he was mute because he was busy making his money. If I can remember in the language of Sir Francis Santos Zeribe in 2007, while he featured in our channel television, and then he was asked, Sir Francis Santos Zeribe, for the past since 1999 to 2007, you have been representing Oguta. How far have you gone in to represent these people? That young man was very, very open to tell the channel pundit that he was not representing the people, that he was there to make the money, and he was making the money. So if anybody tells you that he is there to represent the people, that person is being economical with the truth. And Professor Jonas, in the language of Solomon Long, I take it down towards the interview of Francis Atenzeribe. Solomon Long, under Buhari regime, was there to make the money and not to represent the people. So now that he has made the money, and he is no longer part of the system, so he is now obliged to tell the world what was happening. But the only thing I can tell American government, President Trump, that as all this revelation keeps coming, some of all these people who were mute in the midst of genocide are genocidists. So if any sanction is coming, that sanction, these people must not be expelled because they were complicit in the genocide against the Christian population in Nigeria. Thank you, Professor Jonas. Let me allow our comrades to make their input.
Thank you. Caller on WhatsApp. Can you hear me, please? Go on. Mazi.
So, in my own case, because you said we should call if we have. So in my own case, I never really lived far north, but I have relatives. My relatives are killed in that pogrom. My mother's uncle and my father's cousins, 2 graduates, they were living in the north. They were all massacred. So I guess because of that, we had this trepidation for the north. But at one time, my father he got a job in Kano. And when he was in Kano, the company gave him like a house in the inside Kano city. They were like maybe 4 workers, engineers, and he was the only Igbo person. The other ones were, I think some of them were from maybe Yoruba or another ethnicity. So my father refused to stay there. He went to live in Sabon Gari in Kano. That was where he rented the place. And then the other work engineers were the ones living in the city. My father was afraid of living, far from where Igbos were. And then, but he didn't stay long. After 1 year, he left and looked for something else down south. But that the Madala bombing on I think it was Christmas 2011. If you remember that bombing in the church, so that one I was actually working in Kubwa. They have a hospital there. So because Madala is a bit further away from from the center of Abuja, so they brought them from that place, on their way trying to take them to the National Hospital. They brought some of them to my hospital, and I was on duty that day. They brought some of the victims, and of course they were all Igbos, because it was a Catholic church. Because my people don't know, most times when they attack all these churches in any part of the country, when they attack a Catholic church, a lot of the victims end up being Igbos. You might not know, like if they attack a Catholic church in Owo, the one that happened in, was it Ondo or something? A lot of the victims were Igbos, because Igbos were predominantly Catholics, and most of the places where we go, we make up the Catholic population there a lot across the country. So that when I experienced it, the bomb victims, some of them we couldn't even take care of them. They had to take them to National Hospital, but a few of them we were able to take care of them, and they were all Igbos. So that was my own experience. But I also want to share this. I think I've mentioned this here before. That a lot of our people are ignorant about just the north. So there are 2 types of Igbo people we have in Nigeria. There are those in the north that have learned how to live in the north, Some of them have changed their names. Some of them now behave like Northerners. They've blended. Some of them know how to be safe in the North, or they know they know this kind of how to detect signs of impending chaos or trouble, or and they know how to run for cover. They've been doing this drill for years, and it's part of them. Then you have those Igbos who are down south in the east who migrate like after they finish school or something and go up north, and they don't really know much about the north. So those ones are very vulnerable, and they are easily deceived about the north. So see what I mean? Because of the way things are for us in the east, because of the choked up nature, because of the competition, and then you don't have federal presence, so many of us no jobs. So once we finish, we want to leave and migrate. Lagos, Abuja, up north. So many of them, when they go out, because of the way the north is, the north doesn't have so many graduates, so that you're more likely to get maybe a job there, apart from business, whatever. And then because of the laid back nature of the north, so when they go up there, they don't describe the northerners as they are good people, that they are kind, that all these things, that we have a misconception about them. So it makes them let their guards down. They just be like, no, these people are back with me, these people are good and nice. So this is what happened to one of my friend and classmate, and he went to university in the east, but he now did his youth service in the north, and he finished and trained and did a lot of stuff, and then he got a job in Abuja, and his guard was a northern. I don't know if he's Hausa or Fulani or whatever, and he was very close to the guy. And on the day he was planning to travel and leave come to the United States, his security or guard planned with some other people, and they murdered this my classmate. They murdered him and his friend in cold blood. And Mazi, I'm telling you that this happened in 2021 or 2022. Thank you for what you keep doing.
Almost a Biafran. There were Mazi. Nigeria continues traumatizing our people, and the worst part of it is that our people on the reports, they keep silent in most of the time. Where you see our people will be blowing their horns is maybe something, if it happens to them, maybe from a fellow Igbo man. That is when you hear them blowing their loud speakers. But things that are happening to our people by others, they hide it. Many kept quiet. It's really mind-boggling. Caller on WhatsApp, please go on. I think you'll be the last caller. Caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me? Okay, caller on Signal, please go on. Mazi Akas, please go on. Maybe be the last caller. Caller on WhatsApp have dropped. Mazi, can you hear me? Caller on WhatsApp. Caller on Signal.
Yes, Mazi Jonathan, I can hear you.
There, Mazi, go on, please.
Good evening. From your Mazi. Mazi, thank you so much for picking my call, and I want to let our brothers and sisters know that what is happening to us in Nigeria is really horrible. But but we must continue to do the needful. But we must continue to do the needful. But we must continue to do the needful, because we are small. They are living in Jos. Till today, she died there, and they never brought her body, her corpse back home. She was buried there. But what we're saying in essence is that these manipulations of this how can I say this caliphate, Sokoto caliphate, the way they are trying to pocket every Nigerian pocket, most especially our so-called idiotic governors. I will not, because these people have really dealt with us. Have really dealt with us that even
Oh, are you still there? Mazi, it seems you muted your mic, please. Unmute yourself. I don't know, maybe you have a call, please.
Yes, Mazi Jonathan.
Go on. You muted yourself. Yes.
Yes. I'm sorry about it, man. This screen touch of a thing. Sorry, my brother, for that. So what I was saying in essence is that the way the so-called politicians in Igbo land have really dealt with all of us, that made us to rise up on our feet to say no to this intimidation and this compromise of these politicians that put us where we are today. Mazi, the truth is that the better we keep on sounding this into the ear of the world, so that the indigenous people in Nigeria will know where the problem is. No wonder one of the workers of our leader, Mazi Jonathan, he said I can make India here. We must go to this place. What exactly is inside this Sokoto Caliphate? That place needs to be destroyed. The Hausa people, if they knew what that place represents in their lives, destroy that. We are there. This Hausa people, if they knew what that is represented in their lives, destroy that. We are there. This in their lives, destroy that. We are there. This. When we hear them, they will do them something when they come back home, and we hear that they couldn't have an auntie. They will see us, and this will be seen us as if we are not human beings. this generation, we must know what is inside this Sokoto Caliphate. Mazi, it doesn't matter how long it takes, because this Sokoto Caliphate have dealt with Nigerians that even the electricity that Nigeria today cannot boast of electricity is part of the conspiracy of that Sokoto Caliphate, because British is using that particular throne to make sure that they deal with all Nigerians very mercilessly. So the indigenous people must wake up. You see this genocide that have been happening in Nigeria. Even most of us were small when they started killing our people. They will run back to East. How much here? Mas, you were asking our brother that were anchoring the program with you tonight. What is really happening that makes our people get troop to that place? One night we can say, and Abraham only have a guy named Ozzy one to get your brother. Mas, this Ozzy one day and Asana back at that place. Our people killed in northern state of Nigeria. Is it not even more than Ozibo we are running to a place, they are killing us, and we keep on running. We go back again. What is wrong with our people? Earlier we come back home. When you are alive, you can be able to what is coming tomorrow. But when you are died and nobody is going to, you are not coming back to life. This northern state is not people, rather people randomly. We must call a spade. And this preaching of caliphate, we must be something that will run into here. We will keep it until the Hausa people will stand. That their problem they are passing through in the north is because of this Sokoto Caliphate that the British have used to cage the whole Nigerians and cage Hausa people. They cannot be governor in their own land. They cannot hold any good position in their own land. Rather, the Fulani has occupied all the governorship and the political seats of the northern states. At the end of the day, they will say we are one north, trying to lure in the innocent Hausas who have come to their land and killed their leaders and colonized them. After they kill your people, they will come after you. Earlier the better, than everybody must rise up. All Nigerians must rise up and ask this question: what is this in this place? What is in this Sokoto Caliphate? We had this one of this Sokoto Caliphate. What is there? Why must every governor, why must every politician must go there to go and pay allegiance to? Why? This is why these people believe that Nigeria belongs to them. And they can kill anybody they want to kill. Nobody is going to talk. Now that we've realized where the problem is, we must keep on hammering it until that place is being destroyed, so that the people will be free. Mazi, may I bless you for giving me this opportunity. Mazi Jonathan.
This is where we're going to switch off the phones. Please do not call any longer. Honestly speaking, when the caliphate is doing what they are doing with impunity, because they see that they have succeeded in manipulating everybody, that the people, the indigenous population in Nigeria are completely manipulable. They are easy to manipulate, and that is why they are doing what they are doing. Imagine Sheikh Gumi. This one is happening in our Korokoro. Sheikh Gumi is everybody knows he's a terrorist. Imagine he's moving around with impunity, being invited in national television to talk. Nigerians are comfortable with it. What else? What else? Instead, they are pinning the Christian genocide escalation on IPOB, on Undib. But is it really happening? It is happening. It has been happening for decades, for goodness sake. And they present Daniel Bola. Mazi, please, make your submission, please, before we close. Mazi, can you hear me, Mazi?
Yes.
There, please go on.
Yes, Mazi Jonathan, I can hear you.
There, go on.
Thank you. In the muka fara da Hausa, ko da yake na Turanci ya zo ya shiga, bari dai ma yanzu mu kammala program din yau. Hausa da masu sauraron mu. Yau dai mun ji abubuwa da yawa, mun ji tarihi, mun samu koyarwa, mun yawa. Fata dai muke yi cewa duk ƙungan da muke yin nan ba a wofi ba ne. Muna fatan za a yi kuma za a yi amfani da shi. Domin idan ka samu koyarwa ta tarihi, ka samu koyarwa ta tsaron kanka, ka samu koyarwa wanda zai baka yancin kanka ko kuma yancin kanki, in baka yi amfani da shi ba, wato ka riga da ka tabbata cewa kai dai ko kuma ke dai ko kuma ku dai a matsayinku da mutane gaba daya kuna so ku ci gaba a mai da ku ba'i a kasanku. So ne nake in fahimta cewa wannan ba haka ba ne, ba son ku ne a mai da ku ba'i a kasanku ba, ba son ku ne a bautar da ku a kasanku ba. Kuskure ne aka yi wanda ya wuce. Yanzu in kai kuskure, in kin yi kuskure, idan kuka yi kuskure, ku gano cewa wannan kuskure ne, lokaci ya zo da ya kamata kuskuren nan a mai gyara. Ya kamata a yi abubuwan da ya kamata idan aka yi a ce wannan kuskuren nan babu matsalan kuskure, kuma an riga da an gyara kuma an samu yancin kai. Shi yasa kullum muke zuwa akan rediyon nan kuma mu zauna mu yi maganan nan saboda kowa ya ji, kowa ya koyo, ya yi koyo a kai, kuma kowa ya samu daman gane abin da ya kamata ya yi a matsayin shi na ɗan ƙasa ta asali. Idan na magana ina ce 'yan ƙasa na asali, da mun fulanuka ba 'yan ƙasa ta asali ba ne a Najeriya, kowa ya sani. Kakanin Sultan of Sokoto ba 'yan ƙasa na asali ba ne a Najeriya. Wayannan jikokin 'yan ta'adda ne. Shugabannin ta'adda, 'yan ta'adda gaba ɗaya shine Uthman Danfodio. Kuma a yau a mulkin shi shine Sultan of Sokoto yake mene ya mallaka, shi yana kai haka. Kuma abinda Uthman Danfodio ya gagara karewa shine yau suke so su kammala, idan kuka ba su dama. Fata dai muke yi cewa ba za ku ba su dama. Duk wani dan asali dai na kasan arewa, ku kirawo kanku, ku yi taro, ku samu majalisa, ku yi shirye-shirye na kare kanku, saboda idan ba ku yi ba, su kashe ku, yayanku da suka ce iwayenku da suka ‘ya'yanku su kasanku, kwaci arzikinku, kuma gwamnati ba za su yi komai su taimake ku ba. Ai kuma kun gani abu da ke faruwa a Benue, gwamnati ba za taimake su ba. Abu da ke faruwa a Southern Kaduna, gwamnati bai taimake su ba. abin da ya riga da ya faru gurare da yawa gwamnati duk kowa ya yi shiru. To yau idan kuna jira gwamnati ne ya taimake ku, wannan ƙarya ne. Idan ku a wani banza kamata ku yi shi, ku kirawo junanku, kame tsayo makamai ku tsare kanku. Idan ana yi wani sai ku haɗu da ku taimaki ɗan uwanku. Idan haka ba, shekaru 5 zuwa 10 zuwa bara a samu waɗansu kudu a arewacin Najeriya ba sai dai Fulanuka. Yau muna cewa kuma ku yi amfani da shi. Like I said, we started and we've educated a lot of people. We've educated ourselves in history and a lot of things that are happening. It's my hope that as in wherever you are, that you've learned that it's important that you recognize yourselves, speak to each other, create some kind of assembly, speak to each other, communicate and arm yourselves to protect yourselves. Because the government will not do that. You can see the case of Benue. How has the government helped? The people of Southern Kaduna, how has the government helped? In the end of the day, you are your own government. Your people, when you organize yourselves, you can be able to protect yourself. Because I keep saying the indigenous people of the north, because Fulanis are not indigenous. They are who is Ottoman Folio was a terrorist, and everything that has come after him have been great and great grandchildren of a terrorist. And that and everything that has come after him have been great and great grandchildren of a terrorist. And that be able to see you all come to your houses again through Radio Biafra once again in the coming day. Ndewono.
Mazi, thank you very much. Biafrans and lovers of freedom, what we are doing is so deep, honestly. When I check how things went wrong in Nigeria, the indigenous population, to our people, Biafrans, Igbos, I cannot but continue concluding that many things went wrong, honestly. We fought very bravely. Our fathers, our uncles fought very bravely in a war of attrition. But the ending was so chaotic. And after, our people were so traumatized to submission. That is why we flooded. Our people flooded down to the people that we are killing, that committed genocides against us without having any other plan B. It's very sad, honestly. What we are doing is trying to undo the mistakes or correct the mistakes, because what we are suffering today is a mistake of yesterday. Truth be told, that is the reality. There's no way what we are suffering today is the mistake of yesterday. Because if our people did not disperse in that manner and completely forgetting what happened or taking war of liberation as those, how can I put it, unnecessary suffering, let me put it like that. Hey, I could remember when Mazi Jonathan Chinedu was on air the first time, our people were, no, you want to bring out war again, Biafra again, no, Biafra, no, don't talk about it, no, they equate our liberation to suffering, complete suffering, and our people are not ready to go through that. It's a fault to our race, I am telling you. Just like Mazi Obasi, the testimony he gave about his father that fought bravely as a soldier, but he was so traumatized to tell his children, in a way that they should understand, communicates to the children. Instead, he hid when he was asked, what about this clothes you don't wear? And then, no, he said, those that fought in the war, we fought in the war, he started telling bad things. That is the fault, I used to say, in our own, I don't know whether it's in our DNA. No, I don't think so. Otherwise, the Kumek warriors wouldn't have stayed up to 31 years resisting British onslaught. It's not in our DNA. There's something that went wrong somewhere. I'm telling you. Normally, a liberation like this, it doesn't matter the suffering. Yes, you acknowledge the suffering that you eat lizard, yes. But tell the children, this thing, keep it alive. It doesn't matter what we suffer, but we must get there. This is generational. But many of our people completely lost hope. They became traumatized to the extent they don't. Look at Palestine. Just take example from them. A normal Palestinian woman, he says, the minimum children he bears. I've had it one time, say 12 children. At least 4 is sure to be martyred. Now the remaining 8, anything can happen, because there's they continue indoctrinating. It doesn't matter the difficulty they face. They continue telling the children that you must be free. Even if you see me, I die today. You continue. When you start indoctrinating a child like that from beginning, there is bound to be no mistake. It will continue. Southern Sudan, they are free today due to this thing I'm saying. They continued. They had a pause. They ended their first war in 1972. They didn't relax. They suffered, yes. 17 years of war with the Janjaweed. It's not easy for them. It wasn't easy. It didn't debar them. They stopped. They had armistice and they stopped. But after they check how things were going, they said no. We cannot be scared of the former suffering. The new generation also, because the old generation has been communicating to the new generation. Look what happened to us. Look. But in our own, is it not what we are suffering today? The fight you run away from yesterday, you must face it. is what we are suffering. You know, there's no way that second option, that reservation of, you know, maybe things might go wrong. What do we do? It never occurred to our people. Instead, when you talk to our so-called political class or intelligentsia, they start giving you excuse. That time, and then I'm not meant to say and real and then, but these are sufferings. You know, that freedom, that word freedom, should be there to surpass every suffering, generations upon generations. But many of our parents fail to portray that word freedom. Instead, everybody went back and hustle forward in an easy life. Let us forget about the past. There is no way you can forget about the past and build your future successfully. It's impossible. It's impossible. No, let us pretend that you know, there was no genocide against Biafrans. That is why, you see, the Caliphate used the opportunity. They destroyed our place. You know, no, now anything you talk, they tell you they tell you that is why, you see, the Caliphate used the opportunity. They destroyed our place. How long? It's more than 50 years. Their war, active war, stopped 2005. I mean 2005 to 2005. 50 years. Now the other politicking, you know, outbursts, killings also continued. Till 2011, they held their plebiscite. It's not easy. In our own, we think that, now leave this thing, let us forget it, and everybody go and look for money, you know, take care of your family, finish. Our enemies use that opportunity to deal with us a death blow, so that we become nothing. IPOB is just trying to resuscitate our dignity and nothing more. Onye ọ na-agbala ganga ugwu, onye ga ugwu, onye ga Lagos, onye a na-achọ ego now. Don't we get it? And look at what is happening. Black beauty without black power is useless. That is it. Anytime they want, they'll sign something and destroy your buildings in Lagos. You don't do nothing. You can't do nothing because I have relegated you to nothing. You made yourself to be so. Because you think that, you will let us just wish that what happened to us, it didn't happen to us. Now don't talk about it. No, don't make me remember. Some people is like that. Now don't make me remember what we suffered in the war. No, leave it. Instead of talking it out, that pain, let it communicate it. No way. We thought that is the right path. Yeah, that pain, let it communicate it. No way. We thought that is the right path. Yeah. Manipulations have gone, it's too much, so nothing lasts forever. Nothing. Alexander the Great conquered, for him he conquered the then war, the then non-war. The war happened after he started going down. Nothing lasts forever, no situation. So the zenith, the apex of the caliphate, the Sokoto Caliphate, is gone. So they are going down, and they know it. And make sure to support IPOB in any capacity, financially. What we are doing is very huge, it's very tedious. It's not easy. The sacrifices we are putting is very huge. Make sure you support what we are doing. Anyway, you don't need to become IPOB member only or registered member to support what we are doing. You can finance, you can call any of our broadcasters on Radio Biafra. You can make contact. How do I support? I want to support. I want to pay real money. IPOB does not reject. Nothing is too small and nothing is too big. If you call now and say privately, say I don't want my name mentioned, though, please. I want to give real money. I want to give $1 million. How do I do it? How do we go about it? That is what we want to hear. I want to give $100,000. I want to give a 500 million naira. These are things, because what we are doing needs money. You don't understand what IPOB is engaged in. You don't understand. It's a very huge, tedious task. I'm telling you. Go and ask Nigerian government. They know, they are feeling what IPOB is doing. But you as an individual, you don't know. Because you don't know. You don't have the privileged information. The caliphate, they understand what IPOB is doing. That is why they direct all their attacks on IPOB. So that, because they know that it is the only movement that can dismantle them. That is why they direct everybody, rally everybody around in order to attack IPOB. And you as a Igbo man, you will a couple IPOB. You know you are a wasted sperm. Honestly, because you are ignorant. You don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. Don't judge you with this your myopism. What you are seeing only around you. No, there are deeper things. Go and ask Nigerian government. They know what IPOB is doing. They are feeling it. The caliphate knows. But you, with your little mind, you don't understand. Support what you are doing. Send text to me. You, with your little mind, you don't understand. Support what you are doing. Send text to me. That Nigeria is a terrorist country. Thank you for listening. From me, Mazi Jonathan Chinedu, from here, it is simply good evening.